What's up, guys? Today we're hunting for cryptids, like Bigfoot and like the chupacabra. Dude, they are out in this forest and we're about to find them. We're gonna prove to all of you that they exist because I totally believe that. All right, let's go. Come on. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blues Clues. Today, we're going to be talking about a different topic today. This topic is cryptids. Cryptids are practically the creepypastas of real life. They are animals, sometimes having a strange ability or being a prehistoric animal that people have seen. And there are several to talk about, but I'm going to be talking about three in particular, and why I feel that cryptids are pretty stupid and just full of inconsistencies and just making up shit for the sake of just making up shit. I think this is like Bigfoot sleeps here, so we kind of gotta think like Bigfoot, you know? He comes up here, right? After a nice day. I don't want to fucking die. I'm gonna fucking die. But you know, you get the idea. Goes up there. It's like a havoc.
If you're gonna sleep in this area right here, that's like this.
It's a little glory hole here. Because guys, we love to make up stories. You know, when I go to back to my high school reunion, I'm gonna make up several lies about how I was a fucking astronaut. But anyways, we're going to get on to the three cryptids I want to talk about. And why don't we get started with the one I just mentioned, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is very big. He's got a big foot because they like to uncover his footprints in the ground. And then they'll dig it up and say, hey guys, look, I got the Bigfoot footprint here. He exists. Now, I'm an artist myself, and I don't think it's very hard to simply draw out a footprint into the ground, dig it up, preserve it, and say, yes, I found Bigfoot. But that's not the only thing these guys will do. You see, have you ever heard, I think we all know this famous meme back in the day from the Finding Bigfoot show.
Couch, and my dog was barking at something serious. I just got up and walked to the door, and I saw it.
Now, this show was very popular. I think it was. I mean, I watched it a lot of the time. But what a lot of these guys would do is they would go out into a forest and say random shit that apparently that Bigfoot would be attracted to. For example, apparently smacking around sticks means Bigfoot will respond to that.
Just so you know, one of my claims to fame in the Bigfoot world is I was the one who discovered that Bigfoots do wood knocks.
If I smack a stick against this tree, Bigfoot should do the same thing, right?
I don't think it worked.
Because any type of animal likes to, beat sticks against trees to communicate. I mean, if that's a thing, if I'm wrong and that's a thing in the animal kingdom, then you can correct me on that. But I don't see what's the purpose of this method. What is the Bigfoot trying to accomplish with this stick slapping? Is it like a form of a mating ritual? Is it, like a way of dominance? Or is it just being a fucking dumbass? Is it just having some fun, I mean, I love to smack around sticks in the woods because, that's a lot of fun. We love doing that. But, yeah. Also, they'll just start screaming and yelling. Which, to be fair, I think a call does exist in the animal kingdom. Like, we got wolves. We got them. I mean, gorillas do their thing. Although I don't know why yelling into a forest would be a good idea for not alerting every single animal to your location. But, I don't know. I'm not an animal expert here. But I don't think this is... I think Bigfoot is just a big fat lie. Because, come on. Let's be real here. We have been on this earth for over like thousands and thousands of years. And not one person has found a living Bigfoot with actual evidence. But it doesn't make sense here.
Oh, but Joey, like aliens exist, but the government hides them. So maybe the government is hiding Bigfoot.
Let me tell you something. What the fuck does the government get from hiding the evidence of a primate that is very tall? What does that do for us? What does the government gain by hiding the evidence that this creature exists? Absolutely nothing. Aliens are a different story, okay? Because aliens can fuck up our shit. But Bigfoot just minds his own business. So I don't understand that. That's stupid, all right?
The singular species, and no one would be able to locate one
Bigfoot, okay? It's like a 10-foot tall fucking gorilla. You're telling me not one person has any evidence whatsoever that this exists. And all of them are just people dressed in a gorilla costume from Party City, okay? So there's physically no evidence that he exists. There's just, they had the footprints, but there's no DNA to them, so that makes no sense. Bigfoot does not exist, guys. I think it's time we move on. Let's think of something else here. Let's think of, some other cryptid that we can think of that is more, that's cooler, okay? That takes more effort than simply putting on a fucking gorilla costume and running around the woods smacking sticks against trees. Our next cryptid is none other than the Lochness Monster. And I will say that the Lochness Monster is cool because it's like a dinosaur, but I'll get to that later because I'm a nerd. That isn't a dinosaur, okay? But basically, we all know the famous image that isn't real. I think everyone knows this. It's just a toy submarine in a tub that was taken. But there's still, since that's like the first image ever, since then, all of a sudden, all these stories about the Loch Ness Monster are coming out.
Clue.
We think it's the first potential sighting of 2025. It's absolutely fantastic. It really looks like something is like bulging out from underneath the water.
That they have seen this beast that has been swimming around, lurking in the waters.
Is taken is that they're here in the bay. There's 15 photographs. It lasts 2 minutes, the sequence of pictures, and there's a clear, focused image.
So apparently the person reported like this thing was twirling and around in the water, but instead of taking a video to show it, they decided to just take pictures. Real smart idea. Again, like I said with Bigfoot, how has no one ever had any physical evidence of this fucking thing existing? It's fucking huge.
But Zoe, 95% of the ocean has never been uncovered. There could be anything.
Let me just tell you something right now, you idiot, thinking you're so smart, that most of the fucking ocean is literally just dead zones. There's just zones where there's microscopic organisms. There's nothing, okay?
But the Marianas Trench,
Yeah, fuck you, dude. Where's in the Marianas Trench? What is in there? Tell me. Basically, microscopic organisms and things that could, survive down there. A lot of the theories are that it's a plesiosaur. Who's the genius behind that? Because I want to shake his hand because of how fucking stupid you are. Do you not realize that these animals have been extinct for over millions of years? That makes it impossible to fucking exist today. Not only that, they cannot physically do this with their necks. Are you, actually dumb? You are all stupid. They cannot bend their necks like this. If you look at the physiology, if I'm saying that right, I might be fucking stupid, of plesiosaurs, they cannot physically shape their necks in a curve, an S curve. They can't do that shit. It'd have to be straight up. So if you want me to believe that shit, at least make it physically believable. But it's not. It's not. How has no one found this thing? Okay? So I think I chalk it up to it just being a fucking whale or a log, or some people will send us videos of like there's these like ice rocks drifting into like a snake. That's just fucking rope, and that's just like a wing. That's like the wind doing that, okay? Everyone just sees these things and just wants to believe that it's something cooler. Right there. That is a wild dick licker. They are very rare. I'm sorry, the earth today is fucking boring, okay? Everything is average. There are definitely some cool animals out there, but you know, very boring compared. It's not fucking the Jurassic or the Cretaceous. It's not this shit anymore. We don't have fucking dinosaurs walking around. I'm sorry. I know you want it to be real, but it's not. So I think the Loch Ness Monster is very stupid, okay? And you could be like, oh, well, evolution exists, so maybe the plesiosaurs evolved. That's fucking stupid. The plesiosaurs probably evolved into what we have turtles today, or how I better say it, sea turtles. That's what they are now, I think. I think. Maybe we could have a paleontologist come in and correct me. I wanted to be that when I was older, but you know what? I'm this fucking guy. I'm this loser in my basement whining about Bigfoot. But yeah, I think the Loch Ness Monster is a piece of shit. It's not real. I'm sorry. Go do something else with your life. Stop recording the Loch Ness and waiting for a log to rise up from the water and say, that was the Loch Ness Monster, guys. Just stop. This is the worst cryptid, in my opinion, actually. I actually think this cryptid is fucking stupid. And the fact that people believe it is insane. And that is none other than the Mothman. What is this? Fucking the 1930s? We're making another fucking 1930s movies? What is this? So if you don't know what the Mothman is, let me give you a little rundown. It's basically this creature that inhabits, I think Virginia, something like that. And basically these, these people were, taking a nice little night drive, and they stopped because a creature that they described as the Mothman dived down in front of them and spreaded his wings and said, I'm the Mothman and I will kill you. And they're like, oh my God, that was so scary. And then they told everyone about it. I'm here to tell you that the Mothman does not exist either, okay? I'm sorry you guys want to desperately believe these folklore and these stories about these animals, but I'm sorry. I think the Mothman was simply just an owl, like, hunting and or minding its own fucking business. And these drunk-ass teenagers are like, yeah, that was scary. What did I don't get it, dude. And then, like, a tragedy happened later on with a bridge falling, and, that's a serious topic, people died. And then people were just like, yeah, the Mothman, he caused that to happen. Like, dude, how? Since when has any animal predicted that a tragedy occurred, okay? I want you, did a fucking, like, it just blows my mind. Because there was also that image circulating with the bridge, and then a piece of the bridge came off, and people were saying, that is Mothman flying off the bridge. He was there. He wanted it to happen. He messed with the bridge so it would break. Now, I don't actually know if anyone said that, but probably someone did. Some crazed lunatic thought that up. So yeah, ever since then, there have been many, many stories revolving around the Mothman. And I want this to be a reoccurring theme because this is what happens, right? Come up with some crazy fucking creature that exists, and then all of a sudden everyone's coming out with their own stories. But not one person has physical evidence of this thing existing. You're talking a giant man that looks like a moth with wings. No one has seen him ever, like physically, has physical evidence of him existing, physical video proof. None of these creatures can be actually proven exist. Maybe there's some, not these three though. Bigfoot has been around for decades, and now one person has any smidge of DNA. We have fucking smidges of mammoths. We have mammoth DNA. We We have dinosaur DNA. How do we not have fucking Bigfoot DNA? Give me a break, bro. Stop making up stories of cryptids and shit. I think it's stupid. All right, I know you guys want to believe it. There's maybe some that actually exist. You know what? There's some that are mistaken identity. Bigfoot is a fucking bear, dude. You know bears can stand on 2 feet? Yeah, it looks like fucking Bigfoot from a distance if you see that. So I think Bigfoot is just a bear. The Lochness Monster is probably just a whale or just a piece of log drifting through the water. And the Mothman is an owl, okay? So let's stop here, guys. Cryptids need to be buried in the dust, okay? They need to be gone. These cryptids in particular. Maybe there's some that I didn't mention that are actually real, and for those, they can, you know, you can keep those ones. But enough with Bigfoot. Let's put him down. You know, let's just take the gun to his head, blow him out. He doesn't exist, guys. And if there's physical evidence that appears later on, then I will physically go out and start screaming like Bigfoot.
Dude, what am I even doing anymore?
Why are you giving up?
My life is just such a mess, dude. I'm out here in the forest looking for Bigfoot, and I can't even. Bigfoot's not even fucking real, dude. What am I doing?
Maybe the Bigfoot was the friends we made
Dude,
along the
I
way.
want to call my mom. I want to go home. I just turn the fucking camera off. I want to go home.